Hi guys, I am back. It feels like I haven't recorded anything for a long time. It's been, I think, three since the Champions League, isn't it, on Tuesday night? Well, it was a very eventful Tuesday night, Arsenal beating Inter Milan, but there's only one game I want to speak about this weekend. We'll still go through some of the other games that are going to be happening, but for me, it's only about Sunday afternoon, which is the late kickoff, where we see Arsenal hosting Manchester United, who have said that they're going to be wearing their black kit. Basically, they're just saying they're coming ready for their funeral, right? Whatever the case, they are coming to the Emirates for 6:30 p.m. my time kickoff, not 6:30, 16:30, which is 4:30 kickoff. And let us have a quick look at how both teams lined up previously. Now, you have to be aware, actually, the lineup in Europe for Arsenal is definitely not going to be the lineup that we are going to see against Manchester United. We literally are doing so great in the Champions League that we didn't have to put out our very strong team. I am hearing good news that Nkapie and Calafiori were back training with the team. So I am going to just risk it and go for the full lineup. We had some people rested as well. So let's go. David Raya in goal. Who's going to argue about that? Kepa, definitely not even in contention unless Raya's really unwell or something. Or maybe he's having sympathetic pregnancy symptoms or something his wife is expecting, isn't it? But yeah, we can expect Raya in goal, and then a back four of Timber, Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, and Calafiori. That is if he is fit. I can tell you 100% that Lewis Kelly is not going to be making this lineup. He did a great job in Europe, but I think it's about time, like I've said before, we start him get him playing some midfield, his midfield position, that ball carrying midfield position. I think he would be amazing, but should be drip fed in. But we've still got a long time to see Lewis Kelly's potential. So if we have Calafiori there, if we don't, I can assure you he's going to mess it up and put Ben White and Jury and Timber in that back four. Whatever the case, I think we should be okay in terms of our defense versus Manchester United. But we need somebody fast on that left wing. We need somebody fast on that left wing because which position? Let's see. Because we've got Amad Diallo there and this guy is rapid. We don't need any slow. Skelly is great, but he's a bit slow off the pace. Takes a few seconds to a second or two to anticipate that pass over the top. In midfield, we should expect to see Odegaard, Zubimendi, and Rice. I know this lineup we've got is, we're not going to show this lineup. This is the one from Inter. But we are going to see Odegaard, Zubimendi, and Rice because that's how we line up. Then we'll have Bukayo Saka. Now, Gyökeres, definitely. We'll have a discussion on whether Gyökeres or Gabriel Jesus should start in a minute. On that left wing, we've got the options of Trossard, Martinelli, Eze, maybe even Noni. But Noni, to be honest, I think they should keep him as a backup for Saka's side. We need him on that right wing, definitely, 100%. He is better there. Very threatening, and he can come on as a sub if we are struggling to create chances on that right. So basically, I don't know what you guys think. Should we start Gabriel Jesus or Victor Gyökeres up front? Personally, I'll always go for Victor Gyökeres because I have bought into this narrative that the holder play, he allows, for probably Manu are probably going to start Harry Maguire and Martinez there, and Casemiro is probably going to start. So if we can use Victor to occupy these three in there, it will open up their midfield. Gabriel Jesus, his ball is more like to the very dribbly. He great for dribbling, but probably not great for the kind of football that we are going to be seeing Manu unleash on us. I don't know what you think, but that is where I am going with our lineup. In terms of Manu, this is how they lined up against Manchester City. I reckon they're going to line up the same way, but they're going to definitely be a lot more defensive and rely on a rapid counter attack. So I think that's how they're going to go. It was very successful against Manchester City. So Lamens in goal, then a back four of Luke Shaw, what's this guy? Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire, and Diogo Dalot. Now, this Dalot guy is not the most solid of defenders. But Harry Maguire, I am scared of him in terms of, like when it comes to facing Arsenal and big teams, he gets pumped up for these games and he's going to be leading that line. He'll be marshalling it. He's going to be really difficult to control. And then a holding midfield of Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo. I think they'll try that. I'm not sure. They might change Mainoo, but I think they're bringing Mainoo back. I don't know why Ruben Amorim did not use Mainoo. He didn't know how to use him. And I think that is where some of these managerial skills were lacking. In the Premier League, there are certain profiles of players you need to know how to use. You cannot just be flicking the ball around and running about in circles. You need to be skillful in a team, a balanced team of skill and grit. So Mainoo, Casemiro, that holding midfield, then this crazy. Now, here is my opinion. I think they should definitely start Cunha somewhere in there. I think instead of Dogo, start Cunha, but maybe against Manchester City, they had Dogu, Bruno Fernandes, and Amad Diallo. Diallo is going to be wreaking havoc. I don't know how we're going to stop him. We'll stop him by basically attacking like demons. Don't give him time to breathe. But if there's somebody who can break, we don't do a high line usually, but who can break the ball in, crosses don't matter. We can defend them. We can defend set pieces mostly. They're going to have a long day, Manu. I can't lie. And then Brandon Mbeumo, who physically is strong, but personally, I think he can be handled. If we have Calafiore, we have Gabriel there, and Saliba, I think we can handle these guys. 100%, I'm not scared. Set pieces, Bruno Fernandes free kicks are dangerous. Amad Diallo's threat is definitely something you cannot doubt. But I can't lie. Manchester United have got a bigger problem. They are facing a bigger problem than we can even imagine. They have basically not faced us. We are lethal. We have not lost a game at the Emirates. We've had 2 or 3 draws at the Emirates this season, but we haven't lost yet, and we're not about to start losing to Manchester United. I think after Tuesday night, we are eating these guys up alive. I am going to go for Arsenal to beat them 3-0. Maybe they'll score because we haven't been as solid. We've been leaking in some goals here and there. But yeah, Arsenal to beat Man U 3-0 or 3-1. It might be closer, but I doubt it. I think we'll be too solid. How will Zubimendi do in that midfield? I am not sure. Like I keep telling you guys, me, Zubimendi, I don't see what he does, but everyone tells me he does things. So I hope he's going to do things, because if he can, to be honest, I think in this team we are facing, Man U, I think it's one of those games that shouldn't bother him much. There are certain games and teams that press immediately you get the ball that he struggles with. Very physical. The Newcastles, we remember Villa, he struggles in them. But if it's more like skill, outwitting, and I don't think Manu's physicality is so superior that it can absolutely take out Zubimendi's character. So I am absolutely confident that we can hammer these guys. 3-1 Arsenal, in my opinion. Now let's have a quick look at the other games. We are going to go back to Saturday and then we'll talk about the other Sunday games. So Saturday in the Premier League, 2 o'clock. Oh, that's Sunday. Saturday, 12:30, early kickoff. We've got relegation fodder, West Ham taking on Sunderland. Sunderland would easily win this match 100%. But away from home, West Ham are desperate as well. So draw. Maybe West Ham can surprise us with a win. Burnley, Tottenham, Hotspur. I would go for Tottenham away from home, but they're so bad. Tottenham, draw maybe. Brighton, Fulham. Fulham, all their stars from AFCON are back. Brighton are pretty good, and they sort of survived. I think they drew the other day, the previous match. So I'm going to go for a Fulham win at home. I think they're on course to win it. And then Manchester City playing Wolves. Now, Manchester City, Honestly, what's happening with these guys? They went to Glimt, went to Bodo Glimt in Europe and got done 3-1 by the smallest team in the world. I think their whole country, the population is like 60K. And they got done, really done by them. It was shocking to see them. So, and Wolves, remember when Arsenal played Wolves, we barely won that match. Barely. These guys are dangerous. So Manchester City need to be really careful. This could be one of those matches where we see Manchester City lose again. I'm still going to go for them to win because I don't want to appear crazy, but I wouldn't be shocked if Wolves get a point out of this. At the minimum, honestly, I can't lie. And then Bournemouth versus Liverpool. Liverpool are not very impressive in the Premier League this season. I think Bournemouth could do a job. They could get a draw or even beat Liverpool. On Sunday, apart from the big game later in the day, 4:00 kickoffs, we've got Brentford, Nottingham Forest. Brentford to win. Nottingham Forest have been shocking. They got a shock draw against Arsenal, but they haven't been any better since. Palace have been decimated. Everyone wants to leave. Mateta said he wants to leave. All their stars. Gay is now at City, so it's a team in crisis, in my opinion. Playing Chelsea away from home with a new manager who also barely beat Paphos 1-0 in Europe. So he'll be trying to get a result. He needs that result. So I'm going to go for Chelsea to win. Oh, this will actually be one of the best games on Sunday. Newcastle versus Aston Villa. Aston Villa third on the table. I think they need this to keep themselves in contention. Now their manager has lost his mind, doesn't he, Unai Emery? He's lost his mind. He drew. Did he draw a game? And then he was talking about, oh, we're not even contenders for the top 5. Are you mad? The guy's lost his mind. Then he was fighting with one of his players, Yuri Telemans, on the sidelines. And you have to wonder if it was Mikel Arteta on that touchline doing that to his player, who would have a complete inquiry. We would have an inquiry in the House of Parliament. I'm telling you guys. And then Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United at 4:30 p.m. And that is where I'm going to be, guys. So stay with me. Let us watch that match together. Then the last game of the weekend is Everton versus Leeds. Everton are actually quite good to watch. I do enjoy watching them. Leeds are also really good to watch. So Monday night is going to be half decent. I'm going to watch these guys. And I would say Everton should beat Leeds at least, but Leeds are desperate for a point. I'm still going to go for an Everton win. So that is our weekend roundup. I maintain that Arsenal are supposed to beat Manchester United. It's the biggest game for us recently. We need this win more than ManU. We need it. We fluffed our lines last week, the week before, where we didn't beat Nottingham Forest. We should have beaten them so we could have 9 points. We've got 7. So even if City win, they'll have 4. We don't really want a 4-point gap between us and City. They don't look like they are capable of stringing more than 2-3 wins together anyway. But regardless, just for my sanity and my, blood pressure, let us maintain this sort of gap so that we can be as comfortable as we can going to March and April. I don't know what you guys think. What do you think the results are going to be this weekend? Let me know, and I'll be talking to you over the weekend. Talk soon, guys. Bye-bye.